So our topic today is chapter number 9. Is our chapter 9. Sorry, chapter 10. Chapter 10. This chapter 10 is called Dividend Decision. Dividend Decision. Dividend Decision. That is the topic of our discussion. I think last time we completed chapter 9, which was on working capital. So with that, we start with the introduction. We start with introduction. 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 And we write that dividend refers to the net profit. Dividend refers to the net profit distributed among shareholders. Dividend refers to net profit distributed among shareholders. Full stop. It can be distributed in form of cash. It can be distributed in form of cash, stock, bonds, or properties. It can be distributed in terms of cash, stock, bond, or properties. Yeah, that's what we call dividend. Is that part of net income that is distributed to the shareholders? Now take note of this question, April 2023, question 4B. April 2023, question 4B. April 2023, question 4B. Then down there we write that dividend policy determines the division. Dividend policy determines the division of earnings. The division of earnings between payment to shareholders, and reinvestment in the company. Yeah, so when we talk about dividend decision or dividend policy, we are asking ourselves, we have made a profit of 1 million. Our shareholders wako pale wanangoja kupewa kitu. Na tuko na project pale, tunataka kuinvest. So how do we share this 1 million? Do we pay the whole of it to the shareholders, tuachane na project? Ama do we take the whole of it to the project, tuachane na shareholders? Ama do we give them kidogo kidogo hapa? And hiyo kidogo ni how much? So that is about the decision policy, the dividend policy. Then down there we write that dividend policy seeks to answer 4 questions. Seeks to answer 4 questions. Seeks to answer 4 questions. Question number 1. When to pay? When to pay? And we explain this can either be interim or final. This can either be interim or final. Now, interim ni ile dividend inalipwa before the end of the year. Final ni ile tunalipa at the end of the year. Yeah, when to pay. Number 2, how much to pay? How much to pay? How much to pay? And we explain that this has 4 possibilities. This has 4 possibilities. This has 4 possibilities. 1, constant payout ratio. Constant payout ratio. E.g., 20% of earnings. 20% of earnings. Number 2, constant amount per share. Constant amount per share. E.g., shillings 5 per share. Shillings 5 per share. Roman 3, constant amount. Constant amount plus extra. Constant amount plus extra. And the last one is entire residual amount. Entire residual amount. So that is the second question that we need to answer. How much do we pay? So we are saying there are 4 possibilities. You can decide that we shall be paying 20% of the earnings, obviously when we have earnings. But kama hakuna earnings, there is nothing to pay. Number 2, you can decide we are paying a constant amount per share. Every single share tutakuwa tunalipa 2 shillings ama 100 shillings. Number 3, tunalipa constant plus extra. Kama kuna kitu ingine imepatikana, tunaongeza. Number 4 is entire residual amount. Residual is obviously what remains after you have paid the preferences, the preference dividends. Yeah. And maybe even you have undertaken your project. So ile imebaki, unawalipa yote. The third question is why pay? This policy should answer the question of why pay. Why pay? And before I forget on how much to pay, there is this question of April 2024. Here, how much to pay is the question of April 2024, question 5B. April 2024, question 5B, you can consider that it is part of what you have done there. Higher. So why pay? And we explain that, or we write that this question can be answered by the following theories. This question can be answered by the following theories. By the following theories. 1, residual dividend theory. Roman 1. Residual dividend theory. Residual dividend theory. Roman 2. Dividend irrelevant theory. Dividend irrelevant theory or irrelevance theory. I think we should have called it irrelevance. Dividend irrelevance theory. Dividend irrelevance theory. Another one is birds in hand theory. Birds in hand theory. Birds in hand theory. Birds in hand theory. Next is information signaling effect theory. Information signaling effect theory. Information signaling effect theory. Next theory is tax differential theory. Tax differential theory. Number 6 inaitwa clientele. Clientele. Or clientele. Clientele effect theory. Clientele effect theory. And number 7 is agency theory. Agency theory. Agency theory. Agency theory. Yeah, so those are some of the theories that are used in explaining why we should pay dividends. Yeah, that should be well understood. So take note of this question. August 2022, question 3D. August 2022, question 3D. I would like that on your own you take a bit of time and look at what each of those theories talk about kidogo kidogo. At least you have an idea. For our time that is available, we may not be able to get into a lot of it for each one of them. The last question is how to pay. Question number 4 is how to pay. How to pay. How to pay. How to pay. So under that, Roman 1, cash. Roman 2, bonus issue. Bonus issue. Bonus issue. Number 3, stock splits. Stock splits. Stock splits. And reverse. And reverse splits. Stock splits and reverse splits. And the last one is stocks repurchase. Stocks repurchase. Stocks repurchase. Yeah, so I think those are the 4 questions that we have mentioned and they are clear. Okay, then down there sasa wataandika hivi. Taandika hivi, just a minute. So we write that dividend policies are influenced by factors such as dividend policies are influenced by such factors as one, legal rules. Number 2, profitability and liquidity. Profitability and liquidity. profitability and liquidity. Number 3, investment opportunity. Investment opportunity. Number 4, tax position of the shareholder. Tax position of the shareholder. Number 5 is called capital structure. Capital structure. Number 6 is called industrial practice. Industrial practice. Number 7 is called growth stage. Growth stage. Growth stage. Number 8 is called ownership structure. Ownership structure. Number 9 is called access to capital markets. Access to capital markets. Access to capital markets. Access to capital markets. So the policy that we come up with will be determined by those factors, which I think they are also very, very clear. And you can take note of this question. December 2022, question 4A. December 2022, question 4A. December 2022, question 4A. December 2022, question 4A. Yeah, so those are some of the factors that you need to check. Then down there we write that the following ratios are important. The following ratios are important in dividend policies. The following ratios are important in dividend policies. Number 1, naitwa dividend payout ratio. Dividend payout ratio is given as dividend per ordinary share. Dividend per ordinary share. Dividend per ordinary share. You divide by earnings per share. Earnings per share. Earnings per share. Then dividend per ordinary share. Dividend per ordinary share. Dividend per ordinary share is equal to ordinary dividends you divide by number of ordinary shares. Number of ordinary shares. Ordinary dividends, you divide by number of ordinary shares. There's another one called dividend yield. Dividend yield. Now, dividend yield is given as dividend per share. Dividend per share. Dividend per share. You divide by market price per share. Market price per share. Market price per share. And then we have another one called dividend cover. Dividend cover. It is net income. Net income. You divide by total dividends paid. Total dividends paid. Divide by total dividends paid. Total dividends paid. Yeah, so those ratios are very, very important. Very, very important to be understood anytime you are dealing with matters dividend policy. With matters dividend policy. So I would like us to handle some questions here. Or before I handle the questions, let me give you some assignments. Some assignments. The assignments are number 1, November 2020, question 5B. November 2020, question 5B, Roman 1. Question 5B, Roman 1. May 2017. May 2017, question 2A. May 2017, question 2A. May 2016. May 2016, question 2B. May 2016, question 2B. Yeah, so kindly look at those questions. Most of them are theories. Most of them are theories. So you'll be able to identify them and answer them as asked. So the first question I want us to handle together is September 2021. September 2021. Question 2A. September 2021, question 2A. September 2021, question 2A. So let's go there. So if we go there, the question reads, Maridad Limited is a firm that operates in the textile industry. The firm's operating profit, that is earnings before interest and tax, over the next 5 years are forecasted as follows. The firm expects to incur a fixed financing cost of 20 million in the year 2021. This is expected to rise at a constant rate of 10% each year. The firm's acceptable investment to be financed each year are as follows. So we have that. Corporate tax rate is 30%. The number of issued ordinary shares are 10 million. These are expected to remain constant each year. Now get the dividend per share payable in each year, assuming the firms adopt 40% payout ratio as its dividend policy, and then dividend per share payable in each year, assuming the firms adopt a residual dividend policy. Residual dividend policy. So in that case, we are going to have this is details. Now in the details, we are going to have operating profit. Operating profit. Then the operating profit will less financing costs. When you less financing costs, you will get something called profit before tax. Profit before tax. Then you less annual tax expense. Annual tax expense. and you get the profit after tax. This profit after tax is the one that now we should use to distribute to the shareholders as dividends. The profit after tax. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 years. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Twenty 21. So now, for the first year, if we are operating our statement ikiwa shillings in thousands, the operating profit is 10,000 here. $12,000, $15,000, $16,000, and $18,000. Financing costs, we are told in 2021, it is 20,000. But we are told it will grow by 10% in the next year. So give me now the next amount after it may grow at 10%. The 20,000, grow it by 10%, uniambie. The next year we are looking at how much? 2200. Is it 2200? Janet has given someone else to give the figure. Steve. Yes, should be 22,000. When you increase by 10%, yes, Cynthia. Give me now the third one, the 2023. 2023 will be what? Kila mtu atume jibu. Ah, 24,200. Next. $26,620. The last one. $29,282. So let's start subtracting. This one, 10,000 minus, at least this one would be 10,000 negative. The next one. Negative 10,000 also. The next. $9,200. The next. $10,620. The next. 11,282. The next one is now tax. Tax, we are told it is 30%. Tax is 30%. So give me 30% of this, of 10,000. So it is 3,000. Now 3,000 is negative. So then this one will also be 3,000. Then we have this one. Page 716. Then we have the other one. That 186. Next. That 385. So let's subtract. So utasema minus 10 minus 3. It will be what? No, it should be the other way around. It is 7,000. Ukiweka kwa calculator, minus 10 minus 3 is minus 7. Put it that way in the calc. So even this one should be minus 7,000. The next one. Give me the next one. Negative 64. All right, put it this way. The next, the next, $74, $34. Next, $78.97. $78.97. Okay. So with that now, this is the amount that should be either invested or distributed. So the question is asking us, the dividend per share payable in each year, assuming the firm adopts 40% payout ratio as its dividend policy. And then dividend per share payable in each. So you just make a comment. You just make a comment that since the company has made losses in all the years, there is no profit to be paid as dividends. There is no profit to be paid as dividends. Yeah. So sasa hapo hatuwezi compute hizo wanaita DPS because hakuna mwaka wametengeneza profits. And those of us who are doing company law, you remember there is a concept we discussed called capital maintenance, which says you cannot pay dividends. You cannot pay dividends out of capital. Dividends are only payable from profits. So now that we have made losses, we cannot even go now to check these projects that they are talking about in information 2. Yeah, because you have made losses. Okay. Let's go to another question that was tested in April 2023. April 2023. And question 3B. April 2023, question 3B. Question 3B. So if you are there, the question says, Bright Moon Limited currently owns 100,000 outstanding ordinary shares with a market price of 10 per share. The firm has shillings 1 million earnings after tax and intends to invest shillings 2 million during the year 2023. The firm is also considering declaring a dividend of shillings 5 per share at the end of the year. The firm's opportunity cost of capital is 10% required. The price of the share at the end of the year, assuming that dividend is not declared, price of the share at the end of the year, assuming dividend is declared, and the number of new shares to be issued in 1 and 2 above. So how do we get the price per share? So the price per share the new price per share P1 is supposed to be given as P naught 1 plus K you minus the dividends. You minus the dividend. Where P1 is the new price, P naught is the current price, K is the cost of capital, and D is dividend per share. Dividend per share. Dividend per share. Dividend per share. So, when dividend is not declared, when dividend is not declared, when dividend is not declared, price per share will be currently 1 share is going for 10 bob. You multiply by 1 plus. The cost of capital is 10%. So 0.1 minus 0 because we do not have dividends. So work that out. Give me the answer. I'm waiting for the answer. Yes, it is 11. Then when dividend is declared, P1 will be 10 times 1 times 0.1 plus minus the dividends. The dividend, we are told it is 5 per share. Just that, and give me a minute. Yeah, I can see you have 6 bob. Of 6 bob. That is the. So the next thing is the number of shares to be issued. So number of new shares. So number of new shares. Number of new shares to be issued is the investment we have the investment minus the earnings investment minus the earnings plus old shares or existing shares times existing shares times dividend per share dividend per share Now this one, the whole of this, you divide by the price per share at year end. Price per share at year end. Price per share at year end. In other words, this is amount required to undertake investments and to pay dividends. And to pay dividends, you divide by the price per share. Price per share at year end. You know what is happening here? We are saying we do not have enough money, but we want to do. Remember, we said dividend policy has to do with the investment and the dividends. So here we are. We want to do the investment and we also want to pay dividends. So how much money do we require to do that? So how much money we require to do that is we have an investment of 2 million. Is it? We want to do an investment of 2 million. But with us, our earnings is just 1 million. Our earnings is just 1 million. So sasa, we even require more for the investment. This is for the investment. We even require more for the investment. Then we also want to pay dividends. And the dividends that we want to pay is that we have 100,000 shares that are outstanding. I think I needed to have specified here. No dividend. Hii ni no dividend declared. I think I needed to have said that. So the shares. Nimekimbia sana. So when no dividend is declared, these existing shares, they are 100,000. We are not paying them any dividend. We are not paying them any dividend. So we only require 1 million. Na tumeona when we do not pay dividends, one share will be going for 11 shillings. So tukiitisha outsiders, watatupea hiyo pesa. So how many shares must we float? How many shares must we float? How many shares must we float? I can see the first one, 172, 727. I don't know why I'm thinking that is subtract this one. Najua inakaa kama 100. It's supposed to be a million. I'm expecting 1 million divided by 11 is something less than 100,000. So the others, give your answers. Janet, yeah, hiyo ilikuwa inakaa kama ni 100,000. Yeah, so it's 19,909. So we need to go out and give 19,909 shares. Now, if dividends are declared, so the new shares that you need to give is these 2 million that we require minus the 1 million plus that way when we pay dividends. Now here, one share will be going for tulikuwa tumesema ni 6 bob. 20 or 250,000. Yes, 250,000. So you must issue those shares. So that is all about that topic. It's not a wide topic or a long topic. We have one more topic. I sent you the notes on Islamic finance together with the questions. So make sure you go through it because we may not have time to discuss it in class. After we discuss this topic ya mwisho, I'd wish to do revision for the few lessons that will be remaining. Yeah, so nafikiria because naona kama tumebakisha only 15 minutes. I'm thinking we introduce this topic tomorrow, God willing. We introduce this topic tomorrow, God willing. It is also not very wide. It may require like 2 lessons. Yeah. Kwa tumemaliza syllabus, tuanze revision. So thank you very much. Let's meet tomorrow, our usual time, to discuss the next topic that is called risk and return. Thank you.